everybody, welcome to my channel. This is Revealing the Healing. My name is Kathy Merkel-Roddy, and today we're going to talk a little bit about gratitude. Tis the season for Thanksgiving, gets us all into that kind of gratitude mode. Of course, we hear it everywhere. It becomes almost like a buzzword or something like that. So, of course, I think gratitude is the most valuable thing that we can have up our sleeve to help us get through the rough times. The thing is, what I've noticed just from my own life is that when I need it the most, when I need to access that gratitude, for some reason, I can't access it because I think I have lived my life the majority of time in a fight or flight situation. So when you're in fight or flight, you can't really think of anything else. You can't think the reasoning side of your brain is not working. You can't remember how to kind of come back into your own body and just breathe. So I have figured out some workarounds for that sort of problem. Just in case you're like me and you need a little bit of help. I know I spent years, I knew gratitude was important, but also I just didn't know how to get there. So, of course, starting the day off with gratitude is a great way to start. And often we can remember it in the morning because we haven't been barraged by the day's events yet. So, in the morning, what I like to do is first thing before my feet hit the ground, I like to just think of a few things that I'm grateful for. If you're a journaler, that's always a good time to also jot it down in your journal too. So as you start going through the day though, it's good to have some tools because undoubtedly there's going to be things that come up that kind of get us going, get us triggered, get us into that state of more fight or flight again. If you're like me, I'm a work in progress learning how to regulate my nervous system and bring it back to calm and a reasonable pace. Just unfortunately, I have been a nervous Nelly all my life, and I started my life adrenalized, and I have continued to live my life adrenalized. So the thing is that it doesn't have to be that way, and you can retrain your way of being. So that's what I'm doing, and that's what I'm working with all my clients on doing too, because most of us have come into this world kind of shot out of a cannon and haven't looked back since. So we've got to learn how to circumvent our reptile brain that wants to always be looking for something to fear or some danger. So we have this part of our brain called the reticular activating system. So that's the part of the brain that kind of filters what we are actually notice. Because there's a bazillion things coming at you at any given time. And if we didn't have a filter, it would be so overwhelming. We wouldn't know what to pay attention to and what not to. So this is actually something that's supposed to kind of help us. But because of the nature of our human nature to look for the negative, to look for the danger, unfortunately, this part of the brain then becomes kind of a impedance to a joyful, happy life because it's constantly putting you on alert. So it's also against what would be a calm nervous system and a state of healing when it's activated in that sort of traditional way. So what we have to do is we have to learn how to kind of commandeer it and become the commanders of that RAS, the part of our brain that's looking for stuff. So we have to retrain it to be looking for the good stuff instead of the scary stuff or the things that aren't going right. So we have to just take a moment. So when something is triggering me and you, there's a little trick you can do. So you just count backwards from 5. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Already that has done a little shift in your brain and made you jump to a different part just to do that that little activity. So that's a little pattern interrupt for you so that you can at least get your wits about you and reconfigure what it is you're going to be thinking about then. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then I want you to just take a moment and ask yourself in this moment, what is going right? So I have plenty of air to breathe, and I had lunch not that long ago, so that's going well. I have a sunny, beautiful day out there, and so all of these little things, as you become present in the moment that is right now, you can start to access those things that make you feel gratitude. So that is a beautiful thing when you can just be thankful for the air that you're breathing, for the food and the water that you have access to, for the beautiful sunshine that you can go sit in for a couple minutes. And it helps you just access that part of you, which is the gratitude. And that gratitude is where the magic happens, because when we can get into gratitude, all of our nervous system slows down. That's where our healing can happen, where our autonomic nervous system can take over. So we're in parasympathetic, we're not in fight or flight anymore. We can just be in a more flow state versus the tightly wound, forcing it and upset, and just in a general feeling of angst and dis-ease instead of feeling calm and relaxed, which is where all the magic happens, because that's where the happiness is, that's where the joy is, that's where we let go and just have a moment to enjoy our lives. So I've been practicing this a lot for myself lately, and I was just thinking, because Thanksgiving's coming next week, and I know with the hustle and the bustle of holidays, this is an important tool to remember, because we have already busy lives and things coming at us from all directions, and then you throw in the holidays and it's like even 10 times more. So it's important to remember these tools. I know for me, I can never remember the tools when I need them. And so this is something just to start practicing on a daily basis, so that when something does go sideways, that you have a sort of a practice in place to access this when you need it. So that's what the practice of gratitude is all about. So we practice every day so that that becomes more of our default on a daily basis. So we could even do an hourly check-in and say, okay, how am I feeling right now? Because I don't know about you, but when I started doing this, I noticed that I slipped back into my old patterns of thinking pretty quickly. So at first I was checking in and having to reboot like every hour. So it's nice to just take the time to do the check-in and then do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then bring yourself back into the present moment. What am I happy about? What am I so grateful for? And you can even use something from the past. If things aren't going well for you right now, if you're experiencing a lot of symptoms, or if there's just a kind of a crisis in your life at the moment, hey, it happens. Our lives are cyclical, and so it's just a constant ebb and flow. And so that is our life's work, is learning to be strong and steady no matter what's going on around us. So this is a tool that can kind of help with that, because it helps regulate our nervous system. Then we can also get it back into our critical thinking mind and some of the other parts of us that we don't have access to when we're in fight or flight. So basically it all comes down to that battle, and gratitude is an amazing way to do it, because it just feels natural. So you can think of something in your past that you're grateful for. Maybe there was a really fun time of your life, or something that you accomplished that you're so proud of, and you can think back to that. I don't know, during my healing journey, I've been thinking back a lot on some past chapters, just because sometimes the present was a little hard. And so sometimes it was just nice to remind myself that things weren't always hard. Things won't be hard again sometime, and this too shall pass. And then also it kind of just reminds you of who you used to be before some of these things kind of started beating you down. Some of the health stuff started coming on. And when we feel vulnerable and weakened by our health, it's easy to kind of get into this negative downward spiral of thinking, because then suddenly these symptoms are commanding our attention 24/7. And then also our just a general quality of life is not the way it once was. We don't have boundless energy anymore. We don't have an ability to think clearly, or sleep through the night, or whatever it is you're dealing with. So it's kind of nice to know that you have lots of tools. And if you just think back on some beautiful moments of your past, I mean, we all have them, and you can just play it in your mind like a movie, and it just fills your heart. You just feel like, okay, life is pretty darn wonderful, and if I can just get back to that feeling more often. And so even if we have to command ourselves to get there, we have to relearn how to get there quickly and regularly. It's okay, because our nervous systems get disrupted and we aren't regulated in a normal way. Our nervous systems aren't normal anymore, and that we just need to retrain them how to get back to sort of a normal ebb and flow of the nervous system. So that is just a beautiful way to do it, and something I'm trying to remember to do on a daily basis, hourly basis as well. We're all just practicing and evolving. So wherever you are in your journey, this is something that can potentially be an improvement for you, unless you're an enlightened master, which I would love to meet you if you are. If you aren't yet, which I am not, then we can all just improve incrementally every day, and hopefully eventually get to that enlightened master status, or at least just a joyful, purposeful, happy life, free of health concerns and full of abundance of whatever it is we're trying to create in our lives. Because this doesn't only apply to our health, which of course is a big focus of what I talk about a lot, because just I was debilitated by my health. So I'm really keyed into that and what that feels like for people. And so that is my first and foremost mission, trying to help people reverse their symptoms and move into more of a quality of life, and then also help them create what it is they want to create. Do they want a new job? Do they want to find a loving relationship? Whatever it is, once you do all that inner work on yourself, then you're primed and ready to go for whatever it is that you're seeking. And the universe will line up to give it to you. God wants us happy. We are meant to live an abundant, happy life on this planet. And we come from this scarcity mindset that we're all taught, and it doesn't have to be like that. So the minute that we can start to recognize that there can be a different way to look at it, almost like an alternate reality, because when you start telling yourself enough times life is good and things are going great, and you mean it because you feel it, you're in gratitude, then that does start to become your reality. And so it's interesting how it almost feels like, I don't know, I think about that idea of alternate realities going on at the same time that we could access at any time. So that gives me a glimpse into that possibility, actually. I haven't expanded my mind enough to fully go down that rabbit hole, but I can make a case for it when I am in gratitude, especially. So anyway, thanks for joining me today. I hope you guys enjoyed my little talk about gratitude, and I hope to be making a lot more of these videos. I've been sort of a little spotty with my content in the past, but I'm gonna try and step up and do these videos a little bit more regularly now. So hopefully, I know for me, I have certain YouTubers that I follow that it gives me such joy and comfort whenever I see them post a new video, because I'm like, ah, there's my friend. So I hope that I can be your friend and your supporter as well. And let's make a community of all of this good stuff, you know? Anyway, it's awesome to see you guys here. And of course, you can always hit me up on Facebook. I'm Kathy Merkel Roddy. On Instagram, I'm Revealing the Healing. I have a website, kathymerkelroddy.com, and I'll link all those in the description below, so that we can connect and you can tell me what you got going on too. All right, so we'll talk to you next time. Be well, guys. Bye.